it's...
Horrible!
261.
This is Jellybone.
Who's the most horrible, awful, terrible, ghastly, gruesome, ugly man on the radio? Nasty! Who's going to be on Jellybone on LBC on Saturday this week at 11:30 with Gene Davis? Nasty! Who hates girls but is adored by kids everywhere? Who ring him on Jellybone's open line when he's there? He's a nasty man! And welcome to the Nasty Show on Saturday morning, the multicoloured Nasty, and that's the show that everybody in the world listens to, because they all like to ring up Mr. Nasty and argue with him on 353-8111111. And today, there's no argument at all, because I'm going to say that water is dry, and everybody knows that that's true, isn't it? Oh, what a horrible programme this is. How are you feeling, Gene Davis?
I was feeling very well until you came into the studio,
Well,
Mr.
I hope
Nasty.
you're feeling
It's my
horrible
programme, it's my Jellybone.
It's not.
I'm Gene Davis, it's not Mr.
It's
Nasty
the
show at all.
multicoloured Nasty! Oh. Thank you very much. Everybody's going to agree with me that water is dry. It's
Well,
only the top of the water that's wet.
That's absolutely
Underneath
ridiculous.
it, it's
Everybody
dry.
knows that water is wet.
Look,
but
I'm
I
the
must
most
say,
clever
I'm
man in the whole
a
world.
little bit confused, but I'm sure that somebody will ring.
Hello, Jennifer!
Hello.
How are you feeling?
All right, thank you.
What do you mean, all right? You're supposed to feel horrible when you phone this programme. Why did you ring?
Because I'm arguing with you.
Well, argue then. Go on.
Water is wet, not dry.
No, it's not.
It's wet.
Why?
Because it's wet.
No, it's not wet. I've just proved that. Have you stuck your finger in a bowl of water this morning?
No.
Well, you go away and do it, and you'll find out that it is.
No, I won't.
Listen, when you're sitting in the bath, you don't have a towel to dry yourself, do you?
Yes.
No, not when you're in the bath. It's when you get out, isn't it?
It's the same thing.
It's not the same. Ha you hear that? She says that sitting in the bath is the same thing as getting out of it. Oh, go away. Wouldn't it be much more healthy if we all moved out onto the street? Into the fresh
If
air?
it's a freezing cold night and you live in the street, next morning you won't be very happy if you live out in the street.
Well, you take an electric fire with you to warm you up, don't you?
Don't be silly. Where could you plug it in? You
Well-
couldn't drill a hole through the wall and put it in your house, could you?
Well, listen, have you ever been on the street?
Yes, I have.
Well, they have
I have
electric-
been on the street.
Well, they have,
Have you?
they have electric lights on the street, don't they?
Yes.
Well, you unplug an electric light and plug your fire in there.
Not them sort of lights are not for plugging in. They work and there's no plug hole.
Well,
Stupid.
yeah, but if you unscrewed the light, you could use the plug hole what the light's screwed into, couldn't you?
If you hadn't screwed it, the light would go out.
This is all
Well,
going to
that's
be a
all
bit
right. There's
technical for
lots
me.
of them on the street, aren't there? If you'd been on the street, you would have seen us, hundreds of them.
Yes.
So you wouldn't miss one, would you, to plug your fire into?
I think it's time.
I've won another argument. You have waterworks, you could have them all the way through the year, couldn't you?
No, I've got enough water as it is.
Well, you don't play with it much, though, do you?
Well,
Well, you don't play with it much, do you? That's what I just said.
well, we know.
And if you had waterworks, you could play with them whenever you wanted to, couldn't you?
Yeah, but you're not bleeding president. You don't say whether we should have waterworks or not.
Listen, mate, I'm President Nasty Me, because I was in for the job before the other two were.
That's what you say. Because I think you're silly because you can't light. You won't be able to light waterworks because it'll put the light out.
No, it won't if you get wet matches, will it? Right, who's the next caller? Tony. Hello, Tony.
Mr. Nasty, what a name, eh?
Yeah, great name, isn't it?
Ah.
It's not nasty, it's nasty. Oh, go away. Oh, you're horrible too. Oh, that was horrible. Oh, that was an awful noise. That sounds worse than the male voice choir of Michael Parkinson sitting in the back.
happening?
Oh, horrible.
Who are you?
Who am I? Can't you read? Who am I?
Nasty!
And what am I?
Nasty!
And how are you feeling?
Horrible!
I'm nasty. me, king of the world, and I argue with people. I know that boys are better than girls, and the sun is cold, and the world is flat, and Australia's in Scotland, and I've come to take over. I'm going to do this show because I'm the best. I'm going to do this show now.
No, I'm afraid you're not. Look, this is a programme. I can't have you on here.
I'm not going away. I'm not going away.
I'm just about to introduce and start a
I'm
programme.
sorry. I'm not going away. I'm going to stay here. I'll be back. I'll be back.
You can't interrupt like... Goodness me, I can't interrupt like that.
This is a stupid twit, and they should get sacked. Ah, the nasty phone. Anyway, on this stupid, ridiculous, nincompoopish, horrible, grotesque programme, this is the bit that you've been waiting to hear. This week's nasty argument, and it's the ultimate one this week, the best argument you've ever heard. Before I tell you what it is, how are you feeling, kids?
Horrible!
The world is flat. Now, you probably know that at home, so there probably isn't an argument for you. But if there is, let's see if you can beat these kids here. Right, who's got the first argument? You have, right. What's your argument?
If the world was flat, if you got into a boat and you sailed right to the end, you'd fall off.
That's quite right, unless you turned round.
Yes, but you might not turn round.
What?
You might not turn round.
Well, you'd be stupid if you didn't turn round, wouldn't you? But if it was round, when you got to the edge, you'd go upside down, wouldn't you?
Yes, but...
Yes, you would. Ha ha! So it must be flat. Who's next? You are? Over here, right? What's your argument?
The sun's got to be round because when...
The sun's got to be round?
The earth's got to be round because when at night the sun goes and the
sun goes down, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the moon comes up.
Well, yes, the sun goes down and the moon comes up.
Yeah,
but the earth doesn't go down and up, does it?
I know, but the earth's going round.
Who says? How do you know? Ha ha ha! Beat him, right, go on.
But there's loads of hills, so it can't possibly be flat. There's hills.
Ah, well, it's bumpy, but that's not the same as being round, is it? Ha ha ha! Have you got one over here?
Well, all the satellite pictures that are taken from the moon show that the world are round.
The satellite pictures are on the weather forecast, aren't they? They're not on the moon, are they?
Well, they're taken from the moon.
How do you know? Ha ha ha! He doesn't know. Ha ha ha! Who's next? Who's next? Have you got one? Hey? Ha ha! She hasn't even got one. You have. Right, what's yours?
Well, the people who say around the world in races and things, they don't fall off an edge of anything.
That's because they turn round before they get to the edge, isn't it?
No, because they go right round and go up at the same place again. They go right around the whole world.
Yes, that's because they go round it, but it's still flat, isn't it? Look, I'll show you. What is this? Hey, what's this? What is it? What's it called? Circle. Wait, it's a record. What shape is it? Round, right. But what shape is it now? Flat! Well, that's what the earth is, isn't it, eh? Beat you. Who else has got an argument? You lot haven't? Have any of you lot got an argument?
But the world isn't like that. It's fuller. It's all round like that, like the sun.
How do you know?
Because I've seen it.
You've seen it? What do you mean you've seen it? You're standing on it at the moment. You're standing on the earth, aren't you, or sitting on it? Right, yeah. And is that round or flat?
Well, it's flat.
Is it round or flat?
It's flat, but...
Flat!
But the world is round, and they build foundations on the world, and then...
Who told you?
Well, I've seen them.
Seen what?
Foundations.
And what shape is the land that they build foundations in? Flat! That's it! I want who could be the man to make you all a fan! We all know that they're at home! Aha! Millions of people all over London were singing up with me this morning. Do you realise, Jean Davis?
I expect they were
King
saying
of the
that you
world.
were a horrible, nasty man, and I expect there are a lot of people dialing 3538111 to tell you just how horrible you are, and to tell you that
Horrible,
really...
not horrible. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
How are you feeling?
All right, thank you.
What do you mean, all right, thank you? What are you supposed to say when you ask what you're feeling?
Horrible.
See, they all know. You should know as well. Why did you ring up, Sarah?
Because I'm going to say you are horrible as well.
When I ask them how they are, they say to me, horrible.
Well, let's see
Let's see if Matthew can say it. How are you feeling, Matthew?
Horrible.
Oh, that's a bit
Well, it
feeble,
wasn't
isn't it?
bad, actually. I thought
It's
that was
horrible.
What
Go on,
about
how are you
these
feeling?
two boys over there? Come
Well, how
on.
are you feeling, you two boys?
Horrible.
No, horrible. Let me hear you say it.
Horrible.
Oh, pathetic. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
How are you feeling?
All right.
Oh, go away.
Anybody else who wants to argue
Well, I
with Mr.
don't.
Nasty on 3...
Nasty, the name is.
Mr. Nasty.
Mr. Nasty, not nasty. Nasty.
And he's horrible.
horrible.
absolutely horrible.
Boys like worms, don't they?
Yeah.
Hey, I've got my fan club here today. What?
Everyone can eat you up in the...
Worms don't eat people. Worms don't eat people. They're too small to eat people.
I seem to have
Someone will throw you in the water.
People eat worms. You know, in foreign countries they eat worms. Is that a good idea?
Mr. Nasty once had a worm as a pet. I remember
Yeah.
he took out on a lead. I thought that was a horrible idea.
It's a fantastic idea.
Let's see
And the
what-
Jellybone listener invented me a
We'll have all the
worm.
worms and frogs to eat you up.
Thank you very much. Who's...
Hello?
Hello! You agree with me, don't you?
No.
Why don't you?
Oh, well, water isn't... Well, if you, as you said, you should do an experiment. If you put your hand in water, all your hands wet.
Yeah, only the bit where the... have you done it? Have you done it?
Pardon?
Have you put your finger in a bowl of water while I've been talking? You have?
Yes.
Have you got a bowl of water there now?
Yes.
Right. Well, look, is your nose on your face today?
Yes.
Right, well, I want you to stick your nose in the water. Will you do that now? You just stick your nose in the water and you'll see what happens.
All right.
Right. Are you sticking your nose in now?
Yes.
Well, it doesn't sound as if you are. Listen, this is what it sounds like when you stick your nose in the water.
My guinea pig's sitting in it. Guinea pig's sitting in the water.
Is he really?
Yes.
What, so you got your nose and the guinea pig in at the same time?
Yes.
Well, that proves it's dry, doesn't it? Who's the next caller? Oh, I'm winning today.
Well, let's see what Danny says. I'm sure he doesn't believe water's dry, do you, Danny?
No.
Where do you live?
I live at 10 Marsh Lane, and water is a liquid, and all liquids are wet.
How do you know?
My teacher told me at school.
And how do you know your teacher wasn't telling you a joke?
Because our teacher's a good teacher, he never tells jokes.
Never tells jokes?
No.
So you never laugh when you're at school?
I always laugh at school.
Ah, well, they must tell jokes then, mustn't they?
No.
Why not? What makes you laugh then? Do
Some.
jokes make you laugh? Well, there you go, you see, they must tell jokes.
I've got a nasty joke for you.
What's that?
If you ever see a rabbit with a runny nose, don't think it's funny, because it's not.
What happens to the underneath of an umbrella in the rain? What does it
Goes
stay?
dry.
That's right, you see. I've got another one. Hey!
Because the rain on the top is making it wet.
It's not wet underneath, though, is it?
No, but the top is.
Well, what's that got to do with it? I didn't ask you about
Because
the
the
top.
water goes down on the top.
Yeah, but it falls off, doesn't it? What happens to an umbrella 2 hours after the rain?
Stays wet if you leave it outside in the rain.
No, 2 hours after the rain has finished. What happens to it? There you are. He agrees with me as well, stupid dog. It stays dry, doesn't it?
No,
See?
it's
That
wet.
proves it. No, it's not. Go away. Who's next? I've won that argument too.
Debbie
I'm
did
winning all
very
the
well
arguments
there.
this
No,
morning.
I don't think you won that
Oh,
argument at
of
all,
course I
Mr.
did.
Nasty.
Ah.
I think that Debbie won that argument, and
Hey,
she.
Thank you. See? They all agree with me.
No, I don't think they do.
If you insist on water's wet, you come round to my house and I'll pour a bucket of water down your trousers, and then you won't be a Mr. Nasty, you'll be a wet nanny.
Will I really? Well, I won't come round to your house anyway. Wouldn't want to come round to your house, would I? But water's dry. I've won this morning's argument, as I always do, because I'm king of the world. Thank you very much. And it's also got to prove that boys are much more clever than girls, because all the boys have put good arguments forward. All the girls have put bad arguments
I
forward.
don't think that's true at all.
Well,
I
I've won
think
again.
everybody argued very well, and you're
I've
too
won again.
horrible.